Hey there, champions! Waiting for Brad so patiently. How you going? My voice is really morning voice today, isn't it? How you going, champ? What's going on? Want another bloody durry for breakfast? What's going on, champions? Tommy Radonicus. What's going on? ah. Oh, helps if I open my cup. How are we all? Snowstorm, blah, 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 blah. Get it out of the way. Go and talk about the weather. While I clean up this place. Now, first things first. I've got to clean up my work area because I haven't had time. I've been working on the guitar bench, doing a couple of refrets over here. Stainless refrets. Got a Maton, what is it? SRS808. And one of my guitars, because sometimes you just need a bit of therapy by working on your own instruments, right? This one's a really interesting one. I have a custom shop. I'll get into it in a minute, actually. I might get these frets off, put them in the fret hotel. Because I don't want to lose them. They're all cut to length and trimmed and ready for pressing in. And here's my little fret hotel. I'll stick them in there. It's just a bit of pine I had floating around. Just drilled 26 holes in it. Yeah, doing stainless refrets. Everything good? Sound alright? Look alright? What's going on? Everyone good? Give me the thumbs up, everyone, if everything's looking and sounding acceptable. YouTube has somewhat deprioritized my material recently, I think. I don't know if it's just that I was getting a lot of engagement during the holiday period, and now everyone's back to work and busy. No one's watching shit. So whoever's out there, thank you for joining us, and give us a thumbs up. But you know, this little corner of the internet, champions, we're not out for the numbers, are we? We're out for a bunch of champions. It's a little comfort blanket in a otherwise scary and fucked up world. So we don't really care about getting every dickhead under the sun on this channel, but as long as everyone's happy and healthy and cozy. But yeah, the views of the videos is dog shit at the moment. Like literally about a quarter of what the stats normally are. So it makes you wonder why you bother putting too much effort in to a video, but then it's sort of the catch-22. Well, no one's watching your content because it's unprofessional. I don't know. But yeah, the views on the videos I've been releasing recently have been about a quarter of what they normally are. So, you know what the algorithm's like a psychopathic ex-girlfriend. You're trying to figure out how to keep her happy, and no matter what you do, the rules change every 5 minutes. So you just do whatever the fuck you feel like, and if you get rejected, who gives a shit, eh? It's going to work for a couple of hours this morning. Then I got a notification for the stream and thought, fuck that. Good man. What's work on a Saturday anyway? I mean, I hardly work on the live stream on a Saturday. I'll be doing a bit of work today, but... Matt Johnson, greeting from South Carolina. Ooh, good barbecue there. Hope you're doing well. We're all waiting for a winter storm. It's supposed to blow through here starting tomorrow afternoon. Yeah, I've been watching that. That actually makes the news here. You self-centered fucks. Your weather makes the international news. But no, I'm a weather buff, so I've been paying attention to it. Looks like you might get like a foot of snow, or like 12 inches of snow. You might get 12 inches, just like your mum last night. Hey Dad, hey Mum. Right after that joke, I see Mum in the chat. Jesus. Richard Nagamitsu. Richard, where are you? Are you Japanese? Are you in Japan? Richard Nagamitsu. You've got a very Japanese sounding name. Yeah, so I forgot milk this morning. So instead of making an oat milk or stealing Michelle's oat milk, I thought I'll go to the coffee shop. But the one down the road that used to open at 6:30 on a Saturday, used to open at 6, 7, now opens at 7, and the stream starts at 7. So coffee's more important than you guys. I'm sorry to say. I wouldn't be very entertaining if I hadn't had coffee. It's not like it. It's not like it's the the stimulant in the caffeine or whatever. It's just a warm, cozy thing, and I'm addicted to it, I guess. It doesn't affect me caffeine wise. I wish it did. It'd be awesome. It'd be like taking super power pills, whatever the fuck proton pills or whatever Superman took. I can't remember. I don't know if you saw it yet, but I finally sent you an email. I used your contact form. Yeah, I did read that. Yeah, I've got to get back to you. It's quite an email, so let me read it and consider, well, give it the consideration it deserves. So I might write back to you tonight. But yeah, there's been go every fucking waking moment around here since we opened back up. But yeah, you're not alone. I'm not ignoring you. I'll just respond to you once I've had a chance to read it and have a think and write back. Here in New England, we're expecting to see the storm start Sunday afternoon. Forecast 12 to 18 inches. Jesus. Got a generator and 3 days worth of gas. What do you call it, gas? Gasoline. I don't know. That's weird. Why would you call it gas? It's fucking liquid. Anyway. I just don't know where the word gasoline came from. I guess I should review that. Research that. And chat jumped like it does. Where are we? Well, g'day everyone. I'm not going to mention you by name, but you know I know who you are. Sorry, Brad, I owe you some views from this week. It's been a crazy week at work and I am behind. I think that's what it might be, Robbie, because during the holiday period, everyone's sitting around watching YouTube. Should have been hanging out with your family and doing exercise and stuff. But anyway, a lot of people probably exercise and listen to my yammering, which is great. I love to think that people are out there running and walking, listening to this like a podcast. That's a very, very nice thought, that they're out there enjoying nature and listening to my yammering. I really find comfort in that. But yeah, I think since everyone's back to work, it's all go. No one has time for fucking around in YouTube. And the school holidays are still on, I think. When do they go back? No. They'll be back at school now. So yeah, everyone's busy so I think that's probably why the views have dropped off. Question on that Marshall Super Lead. Why do people paint their solder joints? Seems completely stupid. Also, it would be easier and cheaper to replace those valve sockets. Looks like a pain. Yeah. Literally in front of me at the moment, I was thinking about that and I was about to talk about it. Yeah, it probably is easier to replace those with Beltons. When you get to this point on a project, it really, the costs start to pile up. Most of it's in time, but then you start throwing parts at it as well, and you could be another $100, another $200, $300, and you're already, that job is already at fucking, what is it? Including the rear cover. The quote was $1,410. So yeah, that's it's gonna go up to around 1,600 if we start replacing all the pots, which is probably a good idea. Those pots are pretty shit and odd types, and the tapers are a bit off, as someone mentioned in the comments. And then you're talking like $6-7, $6-7. There it is again, $6-7 per Belton for the good shit. And then do you replace the preamp ones? They're fine still, but yeah, regarding the paints. That paint is an ego thing from a fucking cockhead who thinks they're way better than they are. That's what it is. So they've gone through and they've even painted the fucking factory connections, but not all the factory connections. So that's not from the factory. But then there's stuff they did which was painted, and this factory stuff that isn't painted. So I don't know. It's just it's a what would you call it? It's a lunatic who thinks they're, you know, some kind of celebrity tech. Oh, you're gonna leave my mark on the amp, you know, like it's a signature. It'll be worth a lot of money one day. And it's fucking horseshit, and that stuff stinks so bad. I think it's water-based house paint or enamel. It doesn't smell like enamel though. It smells like a water-based because it's really acrid, horrible, fucking acidic smell when you burn it. And well, let's see what acetone does to it. Acetone. Let's see what acetone does to it. Because the amp's still in front of me. Frontal lobotomy. But yeah, the whole... Oh yeah, acetone moves it pretty quick. Problem is, as soon as you start dissolving it, it ends up flowing down onto the chassis and it ends up fucking everywhere. Or you go through 5 million cotton buds. But it's better than breathing the shit in. So I might put the sockets. Yeah. Amphenol sockets. Cool. But yeah, in the ultrasonic, they'll probably come up okay. I don't even know if they're original, to be honest. But yeah, it sort of becomes a ship of Theseus thing where how much do you change before it's not even the same amp? But if it's not original anyway, or if it's just shit. The primary objective here is to get the amps reliable as all fuck and sounding fantastic. I mean, you basically want to forget your amp exists. And that's what I tell people. So many people are like, oh, amp. I'm like, no, my goal is to make you forget the fucking amp exists and to project your playing into the astral plane and create an out-of-body experience, right? That's the primary goal of an amp, to forget that it's there and you're just thinking about the music. So yeah, if you're tweaking shit and fucking around and adjusting stuff and things aren't working right and you've got to, it's crackling and making noise and hum and hiss and ghost notes and stuff, you remember the amp's existence, and that's not the goal. Roger Ramjet. Proton pills, that's right. I remember Roger Ramjet. I used to, it was still on TV when I started watching cartoons, and Jace, my brother, was a fan of Roger Ramjet, and what was the Japanese one? Was it Astro Boy? Everything was space. Everything was space, because I guess that was still in everyone's mind, and then the remnants to Cold War and whatever. I don't even know what the fuck cartoons are about these days. What, fighting a war to afford your groceries that week, you know, some shit. I don't know. But yeah, I sort of got onto the, I like Bugs Bunny because he was a cheeky bastard. Yeah, I was probably more Warner Brothers than anything. I wish it would be mostly slow. We're looking at 1 to 2 inches of ice with added sleet. Yeah, it's sort of like if it was snow, you're sweet. But when it's that ice, you can't do shit. And it like breaks limbs off trees and shit. Because like some trees can handle it and others, well, trees in their sap, they've got like an antifreeze agent, right? But some have more than others, or some have none at all if they haven't evolved to be in cold environments. When 170 million people are in the path of a major storm, it's a major news story, especially when the southern states, which aren't used to real winter weather, don't know how to deal with it. Yeah. So yeah, hunker down, everyone, and just enjoy it. Isolation, no one bothering you, and a good excuse to tell everyone to go fuck themselves and read a book. Just make the best of it as you can. I love those kind of things. When, well, here it's like fire, so it's it's not enjoyable or relaxing. It's very anxiety inducing. But storms, rainy weather, anything where you can just safely chill inside and enjoy the isolation a little. I don't know, maybe I'm just an introvert a bit. You wouldn't think so with this channel, but I do find it very draining when I'm talking to people all day. Maybe that's like my introvert side. Maybe I'm bipolar, or I don't know. Yeah, I'd much rather knock back 2 pots of coffee and watch the stream than piss around reinstalling 60-year-old aluminium ceilings. Aluminium ceilings? You mean like those vintage like pressed pattern ceiling things? Lucky Jim? Like the ones you see in the old pubs out here and that? I'm working with an earpiece at 4:25 AM. Fuck, where are you, Max Powers? You must be in WA then. 4, 5, 6, yeah, you'd be in WA. Unless you're in Asia somewhere. I'm hoping the Baltimore is above freezing rain line. My generator died and I really do not want to be out of power for days. Fuck, Robbie. What are you doing for heat, Robbie? Do you guys have like fireplaces and stuff? I suppose not if you're in like residential areas, but if you're more rural, you'd be stocked up on the firewood, I assume. From Texas to North and South Carolina, they're expecting a lot of ice accumulation, which does far more damage than snow does. Yeah. Ice. Ice is not a good word at the moment. Ice is doing a lot of damage. I agree, Gooden. Learned a tough lesson in 2024 with Hurricane Helene. Wife and I packed up on supplies early in the week in case we have to go without power for a week or so again. Yeah. Kids are back in school, have been since Monday Jan 5th. Really? Are you really, Robbie? Oh, that's over there? I don't know. Oh, but hang on, you guys have the bigger holiday in spring, don't you? Like spring break? Is it spring break? Or summer holiday? We're all going on a summer holiday. So yeah, winter, you've got a short holiday for school, don't you? Which is weird because it's like Christmas and New Year's, but I don't know. I've seen lots of red paint in amps, but never green. It looked like Kermit the Frog had an accident inside it. Yeah. Yeah, it's just an stupid ego thing, and it's clearly not a tech. It's just some tweaker fucking meth addict amp tech wannabe. Clon Centaur wannabes, but with green goo, so no copyright. Yeah. Fucking clons. Who'd buy one? Sound like shit anyway. So some silly person lifted their leg on the poor amp. Well, it seems like that. Inspection paint on all dodgy tech connections. The thing is, the soldering wasn't... Well, I'm not going to say that, but the soldering wasn't as bad as I normally see. Acetone turns it into cyanide gas. What? What are you talking about, Wes? Acetone turns it into cyanide gas. I think you're thinking of polyurethane foam, which is why all those people die in those European nightclubs all the time, because they use the fucking eggshell cut foam, you know, that open cell foam as sound insulation. And it's supposed to have either a different formula or additives so it can't catch fire, but they keep using just cheap shit, and when it burns, polyurethane turns into fucking cyanide, doesn't it? So that's why if it was just a normal fire, chances are some people would figure out how to get out. But if you're breathing in normal smoke, that's one thing, but if you're breathing in fucking cyanide, obviously everyone just drops dead, so, or at least passes out on the spot and then burns alive. So really, I've got no idea why the regulations haven't clamped down on that shit, because Europe and regulations are like fucking like peas and carrots. They regulate the fuck out of everything, which I think's awesome, but when it comes to nightclubs, how the fuck are they still, you know, able to operate? Shouldn't they get inspected like every month, 3 months or something? There'd just be one fucker that could go around and just inspect them all. Surely. I don't know. Must be more to it. Doesn't make sense. Not make sense. Putting that paint on solder joints reminds me of putting goop over a preamp or circuit board unnecessary and pain to service. Yeah, it's an ego thing. They're just trying to, oh, you know, like, it's a signature. Your amp's so fucking valuable because I worked on it and molested it. I mean, you saw the quality of the work. It wasn't good. Any problem maces? Have I even got any at the moment? I think there's a Road King on the way. I don't know. Chris Tarrickson from Lokuji sent a couple of emails or forwarded, like copied me in the email saying he's not working on messes and to forward them to me, but I haven't seen them yet. So I think a lot of people that live in the city think coming to EMU Plains is like going to another country. Just the pussy city fuckers that, oh, I'm venturing out to Glebe. Ugh, we're on a road trip. Fuck, bro, it's like 5 minutes away. Like, I'll go to the city for fun in an afternoon rather than, you know, treat it like a big trip. But yeah, a lot of people who work in the city or the North Shore or live there, they consider this like another state and they don't come out here, so that it's like, and I've had a few customers which guilt trip me for being where I am. They're like, oh, I had to come all the way out here. It's, you know, it's going to cost me, like, can you do a better price? I'm like, I don't give a fuck where you live. It's not my responsibility. It's like when they want me to cover the cost of shipping. It's like, how is it my responsibility where you decided to live? Fucking lunatics. So I just, block, delete. Speaking of blocking and deleting, I had a fucker this week who tried to blackmail me with a Google review to get free advice. So first, he doesn't know how emails work. He sent me an email, but he had a link, and the link was to a site with schematics, and the site was of questionable reputation. So the email filter automatically blocked his email, all right? So I never even knew there was an email. 2 days after that happened, after he sent me the email and had no idea that it didn't go through, he ordered a Marshall board off me, and I shipped it same day. He received it 2 days later, according to the tracking. 3 weeks to 3 or 4 weeks later, so literally last week, this was mid-December, so like last week, I get a 1-star Google review, the first one ever. Every Google review so far has been a 5-star, every single one. And we're up to like 90-something reviews, right? Saying, just single line, did not respond to email. I'm like, who the fuck is this? So I looked up the profile and figured out that it was this guy that ordered a board. And I sent him an email. I said, did everything go right? Like, can you send that email again? Because I don't know, like, what the problem is. Can you just, like, tell me? Can you try ringing me? For starters, I got email. I got Facebook Messenger, Instagram Messenger, as well as phone. He had my phone number because he ordered something off me, so he's got all the contact details. Having the phone number online is shit because all the scammers get it, and you just get nothing but scam calls all day. So I don't publish my number online anymore, and I don't publish my email online anymore. But if you've ordered something off me, then you've got my email because you received the confirmation. So he didn't make any attempt to reach out to me. He just gave me a 1-star review. So I sent him, I tried to ring him because I had his account number on there. I tried to email him, tried to message him. Just no response for like 3 days, just ghosting me. I'm like, well, do you want fucking help or not? Or do you just want to be a little crying piss baby? Eventually he writes back and says, oh, I don't have the email. I'm like, well, did you really send an email? Because you'd have a copy of it. And then turns out he wanted advice on how to design a fucking effects loop for free. He just wanted free advice. And nothing went wrong with the order. He installed the board, but he wanted advice on another matter entirely. And because I didn't instantly answer with free advice because his email got blocked, I got a 1-star review. So we go back and forth. I didn't go fucking scorched earth and call him a cunt or anything. I felt like it, but and then he's asking more and more advice. He's going back and forth. But I'd send a message and he wouldn't respond for a day, and then he'd write back, and then I'd answer the email, I answer the message instantly, and then he wouldn't respond for a day or two. So I don't know what the fuck is going on with that guy. Eventually I'm like, yeah, do this and do that and do that. And I'm like, by the way, do you mind removing that fucking 1-star review, please? Because, you know, I know where you live, and I know you're a guitar teacher, and I know lots of people. So maybe rethink 1-star reviews when you're trying to blackmail me for fucking free advice. So he's like, lol, okay. I'm like, you fucking... Yeah, people are fucked. It really, you're going alright, and then something like that happens, and you're just like, man, people really are cunts, eh? Oh, well, it is what it is. Anyway, got rid of the 1-star review, and if he watches this, it'll probably come back, but whatever. A little ripper. Yeah, Colby Jack. I just realized when I was doing that video that you guys probably haven't heard that term. Over here, it's so standard. If you win, the biggest cliche would probably be if you're at the pub and you win a meat tray. You're like, you fucking beauty, you little beauty, you ripper. That's what you'd say. Speaking of out of body experience, anyone see Benson's 880 watt amp 14 KT88s? Holy shit! No, I haven't. I'll look that up though. That's ridiculous, but I like it. What is it? A hi-fi? I like a PA amp, or is it bass amp? That's awesome. Dumb, but awesome. What the fuck do you plug it into? The heater current alone would be more than a single mains outlet could put out. Let's have a look. Oh, Benson, I know that. I know that label. What's the bloody mains? You guys in the States with your 117 volts, that'd take like fucking 50 amps. Melt your cables. Desk share. There we go. Babylon. It's a little bit religious. It'd be great if I could click the button and a better photo came up. Thanks, Benson. World's most powerful production tube guitar amp. Yeah, I'll give him that. No one's quite that crazy. Look at the transformers. It's ridiculous, but it's awesome. 880 watts clean output into 4 ohms, 4 parallels. Yeah, you want speak on. 15 amp current draw at 120 volts. A dedicated plug is a must. 15 amp. Jesus. And that, is that the full output or is that just idle? I'd hate to know what that's worth, but I love stupid, crazy projects like that. And I guess that's the choke. That choke looks small. Interesting. Imagine sending them the bill for a retube if if you lost bias and they all cooked themselves. What size fuse would it have? 15 amp. It's insane. I expected the transformers to look bigger though. Like, what do we got? Is that the power transformer? I guess that's the power side, and that's I guess that's the choke. That's the output transformer. I don't know what this one is. Maybe that's an auxiliary transformer for the preamp. But then there's another little choke down there. Like, the choke would have to be massive for all of them. I guess that's the choke back there. Don't know. It would be fantastic to get my hands on one. I'd have to start working out to be able to lift it. That reminds me. I was looking up the well, because I was looking up bikes, and I ended up with the Honda which I rode today to work. Now Facebook Marketplace doesn't realize that I've bought one, so it's still promoting bike listings to me, and one came up with a Triumph Daytona. Awesome bike. 2008 I think it was like $6,000. Yeah, only had 30,000 Ks. Probably a decent buy. They're really nice looking bikes, and they handle like motherfuckers. They're really cool. Good little bargain bike that you can get that's an absolute rip snorter. And the guy's like, selling it due to not riding much now. I have to admit to myself that I'm 40 and my back and arms can't take it. I was like, what? You're 40 and you think you can't ride? Like, that's when you start right. Like, if he said, yeah, I've got health problems or physical problems, that I'm selling it. But he just said, I'm 40. Oh, what a fucking sad cockhead. I'm like, holy shit. Oh, yeah, I'm starting to wind down now. I'm 40, you know, got to go home and watch bloody Home and Away and get to bed at 7 p.m. Like, what? You'll be riding until I'm 80. I know guys that rode into their 80s or are still riding in their 80s. Like, what a bloody wet lettuce. Like, it's a pretty aggressive bike, but still. Cartoons now are just what the fuck nonsense. Yeah, but come on, Scotty. If you went back in time as an adult and watched Ren and Stimpy, I think you'd probably feel the same if you were unaware of it. My oldest up in Maine, they just had an exploding tree warning. Whereas I think that's horse shit. I looked into that yesterday, and there's no evidence that that's ever happened. So I'm pretty sure that's horse shit and doesn't happen, but I could be wrong. Ice takes down power lines. Really? Have a great day all. Bye, Brad. See you, Jason. Take it easy, mate. You're probably already gone. Output tube sockets in that Marshall had separate oval mounting plates. The sockets clip onto the mounting plates with special wavy washers. I'm no Marshall expert, but thought they used molded sockets. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I don't think it looks original. And you are 100% correct there, Gooden. If we get Penny Boy focused and on the game. See, it's got that little wavy there. Yeah, so normally that would be mounted directly to the chassis. But this has little mounting plates. I mean, they'll be fine. They look okay, but they're a bit flimsy. The metal's thin gauge. You can see on the contacts down there as well as on the terminals. So you can't beat a Belton, mate. You can't beat a Belton. Just got a new treadmill delivered. Some of fat ass can work out. Good stuff, Ryan. It's awesome. Live in Charlotte, but spent my first 40 years in Minnesota, so I find it humorous the way people freak out about ice and snow in the south. Yeah, it's a bit like when Queenslanders come down here and it's like 15 degrees and they're all rugged up. It's like, bro. Yep, few hours south of Perth, 3 hours behind in time, 10 years behind in tech. Perth's alright, mate. I've got to get over there. I've never been over to Perth. Magisterium guitars doesn't actually explode, but sap will freeze and expand below -20F and the tree can fracture and collapse. Yeah. Yeah, it can. I remember there was a big ice storm at Lyle's place in Memphis a couple of years ago. I think it was during COVID because everyone was terminally online. And yeah, he had a bunch of branches fracture and fall down, and he had to do a lot of yard cleanup afterwards. And it wasn't the wind, it was the ice was just breaking branches off rather than exploding. But I guess when a big branch falls on your house, it sounds like an explosion. So most people using a Klon just use it in treble booster mode. Yeah, it makes you wonder why the fuck it's so sought after, doesn't it? Freezing rain, ice really sucks when you live in an oak forest. Is that where you live, Robbie? In an oak forest? Sounds lovely. Trees are going to get hit hard here. Happens every time we get an ice storm. Lots are still weak from the damage they took in Helene. The library I manage has many around it. I'm nervously eyeing. Yeah. So over here, gum trees, they when they have low water supplies, they actually lop off their own limbs to survive, so the core of the tree can grow back. So you'll see whenever there's a drought or after a drought, there'll be a massive gum tree, and it's almost like you've ring barked it or tied like a what do you call it? The thing you put around your arm to shoot up heroin. Not ligature. Oh God, can't think of the word. But it's like you've tied something around and the branches just cut off its supply and then eventually that dead branch rots and drops. And then you get these trees with all these, like they look like bonsai. And up in Northern Territory, the way they grow is so crazy. There'll be a massive tree growing on what looks like a rock, and you'll see the roots are growing down the fractures of the rock because that's where the rain sort of collects. And yeah, it's just, you end up with these funky ass trees that have to do it to survive, and they die and then they grow back. So there'll be like a tree that's fallen over because of, you know, just a fire or whatever, and then the tree's grown back up and the branches are coming out at the end of it. It's really cool. It's like really hard life out there, and the trees end up super gnarly as a result. Not spring around here till about July. June? That's suspended rail system. Extruded all rails. Extruded alley rails, sorry. I ripped it out 4 months ago. I'm putting it back in 2 floors of a building at our regional hospital. So like a ceiling grid. Yeah, they're a pain in the ass. Get your laser level out. I've never understood the appeal of a client and played a few real ones. May just be my ears, but they really don't add anything a normal boost doesn't cost $3,000 could do. That nightclub hadn't been inspected for 5 years. Yeah, it's insane, isn't it? Because Europe's so heavily regulated. They love regulation in Europe, and I'm a fan of it. So yeah, it's just really surprising that they don't get inspected like every 6 months. But also the high profile cases, whenever this happens, it's like the people installing it must be aware that what they're doing is fucked. Anyway, going to cheat a little. It's still 20 minutes to cocktail time here in the US East Coast, but I really want to end of the week whiskey. Robbie, don't worry about it, mate. You're a grown-ass man. You make your own rules. If there's a fire, you are safer near the oaks. Well, I guess pine's a bit like eucalypt, where the oil and whatever makes it burn quicker. I was going to say something about fire then, but I've forgotten all about it. Talking about pedals. I remember hearing all the pine trees popping and snapping around our house in Blizzard of 93. Sounded like depth charges going off. Most of the woods behind us were wiped out. Holy shit. Really? Jesus. Brad, is it worth the cost of paying new old stock Mallard 12AX7, or is it just snake oil? Yeah, it's absolute snake oil. Fuck that. Don't buy anything new old stock. Fuck it. Just get, if you want really good 12AX7 wannabes, just get some of these. This is currently the best and quietest, best performing 12AX7 equivalent at the moment. Electro Harmonic 7025. As much as I don't want to buy Russian valves, just don't use it in a cathode follower. Use JJ's for that, but that's further down the line where the noise isn't as much of an issue. But they're the quietest. Seem to be the quietest, most stable at the moment. But again, that could change overnight. But buying new old stock is always a gamble. You never get warranty. It's always a shit fight. And let the speculative investors waste their money on new old stock shit, because they're never going to use them. They're just going to put them in a box and then sell them to someone else. So they're treated like a currency, and they actually have no value. So Brad's Guitar Garage. People complain about how long it takes to drive to your shop. Heck, I'd drive days if we lived in the same continent. Yeah, well, you kind of need to around here, Robbie, because everything's so massive. 1-star review, the board did not assemble itself. Well, it did, though, because the board was pre-assembled. That's another thing I'm getting. So many people asking, can they get the bare boards to assemble themselves? Not ever going to happen. People are liars. People lie like fuck. It's the best thing people do. They lie. So they say, oh, no, it's fine. I won't bother you. I'll figure it out myself. And then as soon as anything goes wrong, accusations start flying. Oh, your board's wrong. It's like, oh, is it? Is it? The fucking 150 boards that I've made up to now, how come they all work and yours doesn't? It must be different. No, the difference is you. So yeah, not going down that road at all, because people expect free support for everything they buy, because it's Planet Amazon. People expect no questions asked, returns, get their money back. They think that they can just rent your products and just make you pay the fees, and no, it's just no. You buy the finished product, tested, stable. It's got my name on it, so I'm not having you pull the old components out of the old board and put them in mine and wonder why it doesn't work. Fuck that. Or buy shit from Amazon or AliExpress. Had a customer and a fan come in yesterday, and he was, every time we talked about parts he bought, it was from AliExpress or like Temu or whatever. I'm like, dude, you stop buying components. I don't care what it is. It could be a fucking resistor. Don't buy components from these places. They are all scams. They just, no. Buy them from fucking Mouser, DigiKey. Start an account. Do it the real way. Don't buy anything from Amazon, AliExpress, partially because of the scumbags behind the companies, but also because they're just scams. They're just like pus. And then you're second guessing everything you do, but it's just the fucking components being shit. I fear a local forest fire when the Yahoos are setting off fireworks on 4th of July. Pray for rain that week. Yeah, it's ridiculous that people set off fireworks in the middle of summer over there. That's idiotic. Brad, can you recommend a really good masonry drill bit? I tried Boss and they were useless. Yeah, I'll just use, well, over here I use Sutton, but they're Australian, so I don't know what you've got over there. I don't know any international brands because Sutton's such a good brand that we pretty much just use Sutton over here. Anything that's branded by a tool company will be a second source. The tool company won't be making the drills. There'll be a it'll be like Craft Right or one of those shitty places that makes drills, and they'll just rebrand them to suit the brand. But if you get an actual proper like drill bit company that makes them, yeah, I just use Sutton for everything. The masonry drills I've used, I don't think I've ever gone through one that last seemingly forever. People suck. Yes, they do. Don't worry, Brad. Most people ignore those kinds of reviews. Yeah, well, he eventually got rid of it, so I can't complain too much. But just ridiculous trying to hold someone over the barrel with a negative review. If that shit happens again, I'm going to fucking take him to court. Because if someone puts a fraudulent review up and they haven't actually dealt with you yet, well, it's fraud. So you can take them to court, or at least send them a letter of demand, which usually scares people into doing it, removing the review. Like, oh fuck, he knows my address. Good morning, Brad. Do you have any guidance on cathode wiring when using a 6SJ7 as a preamp in 5C1 style build? Cathode wiring? I don't know. Don't you just follow the schematic? Do you mean like grounding? Like where to ground it? Ground it to the same capacitor ground as whatever node it's pulling its supply from. Not sure what you mean by cathode wiring. Are you talking like the wire dress? Because the cathode's kind of not that important in terms of the lead dress. But in a 5C1, isn't that directly grounded? Isn't that like a grid leak circuit? Don't bother building a 5C1. They're kitschy, weird things, only as a historical note. Just build a 5E1, man. And don't fuck around with octals either. It's a waste of time. Let's look up the schematic. Oh, that's the 5. That's the champ. Right. Yeah, so that's directly grounded. So yeah, just ground it. It's got a 5 meg. Yeah, so that's a grid leak. That's a toy amp. Build a 5F1. Or a 5E3. Hey, if you just want a kitschy little thing, fair enough. So few components, man. Literally, like, you couldn't make that amp any simpler, or it just wouldn't work. So yeah, see the grid leaks 5 meg. So that's relying on space charge of the valve to bias itself. And then you've got directly grounded cathode, which you often find in the octal ones. Yeah, not a lot to it, eh? 6SJ7. Little pentode. You need a pentode to have enough gain. Oh, well, if it works, it works. But yeah, I'm not sure what you mean by wiring. Acquaintance of mine is a Futterman OTL hi-fi amp, no output transformer that runs 12 TV suite tubes at 2.5 amps per tube heater, 30 amps a heater current. That's ridiculous. People hate on Michael, but he has good ears. Michael? Michael who? People are so strange. On Phil McKnight, there was one dude every week without fail. He would super chat for the tone jar and why not, and sometimes would ask a question. Well, that's good. He's just supporting it. I still ride 185 horsepower GSXR 1000 at 60. Yeah, and the way I see it, you should only be able to ride whatever bike you can pick up if you drop it. So therefore, I'll never ride a Harley. I use my Morning Glory as an always on subtle sound shaper. I almost never add the clone. Use my fuzz pedals a lot more though. Oh, you're talking back and forth with Scotty, I think. Then Phil McKnight didn't read that message one time, and the next super chat he sent was, why didn't you read the whole message? And Phil gave a reasonable explanation. Yeah, well, you miss it sometimes. And the chat just jumped again like it fucking does. Any thoughts or experience on Nordlock washers? Saw a video on them recently. Was that AVE's video? Thought they could be good for critical ground connections. I think they're more for, like, you know, attaching the arm of your excavator more than I don't think you can even get them in such a small size because of the complexity of the casting, however they make them, machining. But yeah, they're very expensive and kind of unnecessary because the way I do it is fine and better than what most builders do anyway. I mean, do you really think the builders that don't even fucking know what the mains wiring standards are or how to build an amp will use a Nordlock washer? I don't think so. You're lucky if they even fucking ground the thing. You just got a rowing machine. Nice. Brad triggering. Who needs amps if you have pedals? Well, yeah, if you've got a modeling pedal, you don't need an amp. But, I don't know. Modeling's fun. But if I was on the road touring, I'd still want just a valve amp because I know that I could fix it at any time. It's really simple. It just does one thing. And it's like having a... I don't know. Analogies. They're never accurate, so I won't bother. Tourniquet. That's it. Thanks, guys. My internal synonym gland is not working today. Florida has to worry about falling iguanas when it gets too cold. They're non-native and can't handle the cold. So they go dormant and fall off the tree limbs, landing in people's yards. I've heard of that. I've heard about the iguanas falling off the trees because they're introduced, aren't they? But they're fucking everywhere. The Florida iguanas. Because, yeah, they go into like a hibernation when it's real cold. Being cold-blooded animals. I saw Greg Koch last night. Killer show. I bought a cute little dry pedal from his merch table. He's selling pedals at his gig? That's awesome. Fuck. That's really cool. Selling, like, music gear. I've never seen that before. That's a good idea. I know, like, Steel Panther and that had their, what was it, Pussy Melter pedal or whatever, and I wonder if they sold it at gigs. I wanted to be a tree surgeon, but couldn't stand the sight of sap. Really? Just back from a walk with the dogs and this legend is streaming. Oh, mycosis. Thank you, mate. And I hope you enjoy the walk, and so did the dogs. Brad, is it worth the cost of... Okay, so I think you wrote that twice. So that's a ban. No, just joking. Eucalypts are like petrol compared to pines. Yeah, eucalyptus oil is really fucking volatile. If you've seen a fire over here, when the fire front is approaching a tree, like a canopy, there's a thing they call it over here called crowning, where if the fire makes it to the top of the tree canopy, it travels as fast as the wind. So if the wind's 60k an hour, the fire will travel at fucking 60 kilometers an hour. And what happens is the fire front will preheat the next tree to the point where it's basically at its vapor point, and then it just fucking explodes, and then it happens to the next tree and the next tree and the next tree. So you'll be driving along, there'll be a fire, or a fire having passed, and the canopy of the trees are burned, but not singed beyond recognition. And then you'll see an area where it got hot enough to crown, and basically all that's left is sticks, if that. And you can see, just looking at the aftermath of the fire, whether or not it crowned in that area. And once that happens, it, like I say, it travels just as fast as the wind that carries it. Wait, people lie? Apparently, yeah. Or am I lying? In theory, I could drive to Alaska, though. I'm not sure I'd be welcome in Canada anymore. Ah, mate. Canadians, like Australians, we're pretty much the same. I think if I went to Canada and put on an accent, everyone would, I'd get under the radar like a piece of piss. If you're not a prick, and if you're not one of the assholes destroying the world, I think they'd be very accepting of you, Robbie. They know that it's just 20% of you fucking Americans that are causing all this shit. And that's why it's so violent, because when there's only 20%, you're a very loud fucking 20%. And eventually, it's all going to catch up with you. And I'm looking forward to that day. And I will revel in it. What up, Brad? I always miss these, and it messes me up because it's Friday here. Hope all is well with you and yours. G'day, Detroit Record. What's going on? Speaking of that stuff. Tater are supposedly okay for cheap parts, so I've never gone that way. Tater are good. Some of their components aren't great quality. However, for less critical stuff like pedals, they're great. Here is like my emergency stash of 1/2 watt carbon films. The majority of which are from Tater. There is some inconsistency with them, which I'm not real happy with, so I don't use them in critical stuff like valve amps. So I've got some Mouser stuff in there as well. The common values like 1 megs, 1/2 watt. Just things like they use like steel leads, which I'm not a fan of. Like you see there, magnet doesn't stick to the Mouser one because it's copper. Copper's, it does work harden, but it's more malleable. But steel, once it wears through that plating, your leads are going to rust. And they're pretty stiff stuff. So some of them aren't, though. Like that's 2.2 megs. They're copper. Let's just grab another random. But then they are 820 ohms are steel leads. So they say they're all from the same source, but I don't think they are, because otherwise they'd all be one type or the other, eh? So Tater are sort of not to be trusted with critical applications, but for signal path stuff and pedals, they're fine. These are really good. I just ordered like every fucking value in 1/4 watt, 1% for pedals and pro audio stuff, low voltage, low current stuff. It's just great to have every possible resistor you could ever need in there. Yeah. Probably overkill, but that's going to be one box I'll probably have till I fucking die, and then someone will be like, what are these? But yeah, Tater do have some, like a lot of rip-off stuff, but usually it's pretty good value, and yeah, just don't use them for critical stuff like mains and safety things. People hate on Michael Fuller full tone. Okay, why do they hate on him? Is there a particular reason for that, or is he just a bit of a confrontational person? I guess you could say that about me. Yeah, Tater is fantastic for pedal stuff, Scotty. They've got a lot of like sockets and that, but yeah, like I say, a lot of it's off-brand. Yeah, Didn't he post some rather uncomplimentary stuff at some point and never really paid attention? Yeah, I don't care about people's beliefs, politics, whatever. Live and let live unless they're hurting other people. Well, it could be argued that the way people vote hurts people. But anyway, Scotty. Tone City pedal called Heat. Pretty darn decent pedal. Crank JTM vibes. Really? I'll have to try that out. Fire crowns out in California. You guys do have eucalypts over there too, don't you? I don't know if they're introduced or not. Oh, it's an old joke. I really was a tree surgeon in Scotland. Ah, you got me, Martin. Yeah, that's right, Robbie. Yeah. Tater DIY pedal PCBs are nice. Made a couple of box of rocks for me and my mates. Way less than buying a ZBEX. Yeah, and there's also Aeon effects, which is really good. They're a little bit more carefully laid out. The taters are often just the circuit dumped on a PCB, and then you got to hand wire all the pots and whatever. Whereas Aeon Effects has like the layouts, and they've got the drilling patterns, and all the pots are lined up and switches and stuff, so everything lines up if you follow the drill pattern. You just go for it. Or Aeon actually have complete kits with a nice silk screen powder coated box that you can just make one from scratch, and yeah, and someone else's branding. But yeah, Brad, did you do a video on your cranky Karen build? I did a live stream. And then I showed it on the live stream as well, some samples, but I didn't do a dedicated video on it, no. No, that's incorrect, Detroit Wrecker. You are wrong. I'm just getting an order for resistors from DigiKey, going to try Yagio. Yeah, well, that's what they are. They're all Yagio resistors. Yagio are really good, and that's what I use for all my Marshall boards. They're all Yagio. Detroit Records talking absolute bullshit. Seen various bad interactions with Fuller on Reddit. I've seen your videos, Detroit Wrecker. I know what side you're coming from, and you say a lot of wrong shit. So I'm not going to argue. There's no point. Yes, there's eucalyptus here, but introduced. They are introduced, okay. They thought they could plant them and get the tight grain timber like in Australia, but they planted the wrong species and the trunks corkscrewing. Is that what happened? They literally tried to get them for timber, and they planted like some scribbly gum or some shit. Yeah, what was I talking about? I was talking about timber to someone, and what was it? We were talking about, oh, that's what. I was talking to my Canadian mate, and I said, why the fuck do you have covered bridges over there? Because we were talking about bridges. We were like borderline autism level talking about bridge construction, because I drove over our oldest plate span bridge, Victoria Bridge here over the Nepean River. It's like quite a significant construction, because it's the only, I think it's the only still remaining bridge of its design, if not in Australia, in the Southern Hemisphere. The longest span, the biggest one anyway. And he was talking about covered bridges, and we don't have any covered bridges here. And I was like, how come we don't have covered bridges and you guys do? Like, what's the point? And he said, oh, it's to keep the rain off the timber. I said, oh, why? He goes, well, because it'll like get exposed to the weather and like rot. I'm like, and structurally make it unsound. So then I was like, well, we don't do it, so why don't we do it? And then I realized that we have timbers that are so dense and so oily and gummy that they self-preserve. So we've got the two biggest ones being tallow wood, called tallow wood for a reason, because you cut it and you you rub your finger on it, it feels like it's got wax. It feels like it's got wax in throughout the entire piece of timber. So it protects itself. So we use that for piers, like into rivers and stuff, for wharfs, for bridges, because the shit basically like self-preserves. And it's not like Vienna where it like calcifies, but it's like oily in self-preservation. It's like it's oiled all the way through the timber. And then you got spotted gum, which is similar. And this stuff is some of the densest timber in the world. You cut it like a cubic, say 100 millimeters square is like, yeah, like 5 kilos or something. So we don't need to cover it because the timber preserves itself. I wonder if I've got some. Oh, here we go. Look, my my amp blocks, timber blocks. Let's weigh this. We'll figure out the density. How nerdy is this? Just to get you all off politics, that's it. Yeah, I kind of want to be a little sanctuary away from politics, but also it's affecting my trade so much, and it's affected me personally so much that I can't. Because what those fuckers are doing, right, is they're holding a gun to your head and they're saying, don't talk about the gun. And they go, oh, why do you have to talk about the gun? Well, stop holding it to my fucking head then, and I'll stop talking about it. That's what it's like. That's what it feels like to me, and I'm sure you guys could agree. Dymo. So this block is 1.23 kilos. 1.23 kilos. And it is, dimension-wise, about, say, 6 1/4 inches, almost exactly, by 4 7/8 by 2.5 inches. That's from a warehouse at Woolloomooloo, which used to be a wool shed, I believe. Like a shipping port. And that was one of the, that's about half as wide as it was. So that profile there, after machining, it used to be probably another 5 to 10 mil either side. That was a bearer for the floor of a shipping warehouse in the middle of the city on a dock. And you can see the nail holes there from the floorboards going across it, which were probably an inch thick. So incredibly, that still feels waxy to the feel, and that has been floating around my workshop for probably 10, 12 years since I cut it, and it's still got a waxy feel to it. So you could submerge that in water for decades and it would come out and look pretty much the same, probably blackened from the tannins, but yeah, that's spotted gum. Incredibly dense, incredibly hard. If you try to work that with hand tools, like a hand planer, it will just bounce off it. It won't even dig in. And if it does dig in, it'll chip out, it'll break out because the grain's interlocked. And you can see the wavy grain in it. And it'll blunten your tool in about 3 passes. So, and that's one of the not so bad ones. Jarrah, which is I've probably got some Jarrah here, I think. It's a Western Australian timber. It's going to be a small piece, but... So this is a curved clamping block. You can see the fret marks on there. Use it for like clamping a neck or whatever. It's like a 12-inch radius. But that's Jarrah. It's a Western Australia timber. About as dense, but it's a drier timber. It's not waxy. But it's actually got a lot of silica in it. So as it grows, it actually sort of integrates the sand in the soil into the grain of the timber. And when you plane it or sand it, you hold it up to the sunlight and you can see the silica in the grain glinting at you like glitter. So it is abrasive to your tools, and literally 1 or 2 passes with a normal high-speed steel tool will blunten it. So in Australia, basically, your only option for machining timber is tungsten carbide. if you want a good surface. If you want rough as guts, you can just cut it and leave it at that. But if you want, this is off a off my helical tungsten carbide tipped planer. So it's got individual little teeth that have a 150mm radius on each edge. They're not square, and they're arranged in a helix. So it cuts at the grain, slices at it rather than just whacking it all in one go. And it cuts really nicely as a result. It doesn't rip out. And even the jarrah still gives them a fucking hell of a time. But it's a beautiful timber. I use it for, well, I use it for chopping boards, which you shouldn't. But I've got a chopping board which I made about 20 years ago, and it still looks like new when you oil it. It's just such hardy timber. I made some dining tables out of this shit. I basically went to the timber yard, purchased pretty much all the lengths of jarrah they had. I pretty much ran them out of jarrah because I made two 3 meter by 1.5 meter dining tables for Michelle's dad's monstrous house that he had at the time. It was like a fucking, like a feasting hall where the dining room was. So yeah, the timbers in Australia are pretty formidable when it comes to woodworking, but once you make a piece of furniture with it, it'll live for generations and generations. So the spotted gum timber, I really like spotted gum because you get a lot of figuring in it, and it'll last forever. It'll outlive me, and I love thinking that as I'm building a building a piece of furniture out of a tree, it's going to outlive everyone I know, and I just hope whoever has it takes care of it. Yesterday I read that koalas are among the stupidest animals on earth. Well, yeah, if you look at it from a human point of view. I don't think they're great at problem solving, but they've survived this long, especially with humans raping their environment. They're somehow still around, so I don't think they're that stupid. I think they're just they're not. I think sloths are probably around the same. They really for some reason sloths climb down the tree to take a shit, and then climb back up when they could just shit from the tree. And that puts them in danger, and no one really knows why they do that. I think that's pretty funny. I'm surprised there isn't a venomous Celsi tree. Well, there is. There's plenty of them. There are plenty of poisonous trees and poisonous plants. That's how they survive. It's usually their main defense is that if you eat them, you fucking die. There is lots of bush tucker too. I've got to learn more about bush tucker, particularly if World War III breaks out and I have to go and live in the bush and eat wombats, live in a cave. Sounds right. Take the acoustic guitar. I just read tree and said it. Fuck. Those who have seen those trees did not survive to tell the tale. Yeah. A few years ago, I did a refit at another hospital. The building was 90 years old, and New Zealand native framing went through thousands of dollars worth of blades, driver bits. Yeah, man. New Zealand's got similar shit over there, yeah. Speaking of rot, my dad put a gigantic carpet on the deck he painted that never dries. I keep telling him it needs to be taken off, but he never does it. Might just do it myself. Really? That's gross. It's just always wet. Doesn't it get like moldy? You can't eat wombat. They're all bone and gristle. Oh, I'll find a way, mate. Wombat are fucking a ball of muscle, dude. They're like, you can slow cook it, Scotty. The gristle becomes beautiful cartilagey type, what do you call it? Like gelatin, and it makes it nice and tender. Everything's edible if you cook it slow enough. I have a very similar planer. Do you, Ryan? Cool. Yeah, so it's a Jet JPT 310HH. HH standing for helix head. They do make square poops, Scotty. That's because they preserve the moisture. They take every drop of moisture out of the the grass and stuff that they eat. I've got a joint stool from early 17th century made of English oak, made completely with mortise and tenon and joined only with pegs. Mortal Wombat, the game. Mortal Wombat. I remember back in the day when I started getting into computer programming as a teenager. Well, not even a teenager. I think I was like 10. I made a little role-playing game with some graphics called Lambo, and it was a lamb who was dressed up as Rambo. I thought it was very clever. Wombats can be cute. They're fucking aggressive though. But like everything in nature, it's just trying to protect itself. Yeah, so mortise and tenon. It's a really good way of joining timber, but it's a little bit difficult because, well, it's joinery. It's proper joinery, but it takes time. So what you can do, there's a game called Combat Wombat. Really? There's a product called the Festool Domino. Now it's got a spinning blade that also oscillates back and forth. So it cuts like an oval shaped hole. And then you've got, literally, they look like dominoes that you put in, and they're like a tenon, not mortise and tenon. It's like you put a mortise in each workpiece and then you use that. A bit like a biscuit, but more structural and larger and stronger. That combined with epoxy, that joint is never coming apart. But even like the shop guitar stool I built in, God, would have been like 97 or 8 probably. So this is my main shop stool for people playing guitars and playing amps and whatever. So I built this back in school out of rock maple, and it's still nothing's moved at all. Hang on, there we go. So I drilled the holes at the wrong angle because I did it on the drill press, so I had to turn it 22.5 degrees and re-drill. And there's my my bottle opener. A bit of aluminium flat bar bent in the bench vise. But yeah, that's just epoxy into round mortise and tenon. I got my brother to turn a round tenon on the end of each leg and glue them in with epoxy. You can see the remainder of the epoxy. That was the Techniglue stuff that I still use to this day on everything, like all the broken headstocks and stuff. And showing stool samples there. But you see the figuring, and that was an offcut of, that's bird's eye. That was an offcut of a neck on a guitar that my brother built. So it's got a bird's eye neck, and the other bits are a little bit figured, but they were just other offcuts that I found somewhere. So yeah, I only turned the top for me on the lathe. Put the face plate on it. You can see the screw holes from the face plate that he screwed to it to turn the edge. Probably could have just used a router bit, but I don't think we had one that big at the time. Yeah, when you build stuff proper, it lasts forever. We had an orphan wombat for a year or two. It started to eat the house. I started to eat the house to get to the carrots that you were inside. Eat the house. Really? In a true mortise and tenon, the holes never truly line up. The peg pulls the joint tightly together. Yeah, they're offset by, yeah, like 0.5 millimeter. Man, the Japanese joinery is off its head. The whole time we were in Japan, I was just walking around looking at the structure of shit. We go inside a, what do you call it? Like a temple thing over there. And I'll just be looking at the rafters and how they joined everything. And, you know, it's like thousands of years old and it's still, you know, so good. They were so good at woodworking. They still are. And there'd be some new structure that was like clearly temporary or whatever. And they still put so much effort into making it like perfect. You know, there'd be some hoarding, like, you know, over here the hoarding is like a foam panel, almost like a fridge panel or whatever, that they just fucking rivet together. It's boring aluminium shit. and then they put their company signage on the outside of it. Over there, they make like a timber, beautiful timber structure, like a wall. And oh man, it's just everything over there is so beautiful. I want to get back over there. Michelle, are you watching? Can we book an April jaunt to Japan again, please? I want to go there and look at cherry blossoms and drink cheap beer and eat great food and forget about my woes. Almost 30 years since I owned a TV. Good move, Scotty. Japan. In the US, there's a guy that does the best joints. Snoop something. Fuck him. Fucking sellout cunt. I thought hoarding was not throwing shit. Yeah, it's spelt the same. I guess it means you're holding all the shit in. But yeah, when they're working on like a store, like a shop front, they'll put the hoarding in front so the customers don't get their eyes, you know, oh no, it's messy, you know. As a kid, I was getting pushed around in a pram, like, so I would have been like, I don't know, what, 1, if that. Well, I was just starting. I remember not being able to speak, but trying to communicate by pointing at shit. So yeah, it was probably 1. And I'm gonna piss off Brad. Have a good day. You're not pissing me off, Scotty. It's fine. You can talk about stuff, but if you're wrong, I'll tell you you're wrong. But you guys are right. Scotty's cool. The jury's out on Detroit Wrecker, but I've watched his videos and they are batshit insane, but I might ban him soon. We'll see how he behaves. But yeah, I would see guys working on stuff like construction sites, and I'd want to stay and watch them, you know, and I'm like, what's that? What's that? What's that? And my grandma would say, oh, you're going to have to ask your dad. I don't know what any of that is. And I'd sit there for hours watching people working, and now they put covers. Oh, you're going to piss off as in go. Or you're going to piss off now, Brad. Okay. Gotcha, Scotty. Take it easy, mate. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. So now kids just walk past the wall with fucking Glencore or something written on it, and they don't get to watch the guys working. And I think that's kind of sad. I think you should be able to see the nuts and bolts and the messy, seemingly unorganized work sites and seeing how they work. I think it's a good thing for kids. Then just like older people, retired people that want to go out and have something to look at, they can watch the guys work, and you know, I think it's cool. And having just this big nondescript wall up in front of work sites, I think it's a bit of a loss. There is also a tree that turns acidic when wet and can really burn you if you stand under it in the rain. Really? One of the worst timbers I ever used was when I fitted out the Coogee Bay Hotel. We built all wall paneling out of veneer, and we had a chair rail. So a chair rails, when you've got veneer paneling, the veneer won't cop chairs being thrown against it or bumped against it all the time. So they'll put a rail at the height of the backrest of the chair. So if the chair gets pushed into the wall, it'll hit the chair rail, which is made from solid timber rather than a veneer panel. Fuck, we're talking about a lot of joinery on this channel recently. Maybe I need to get back into it. So the veneer panel went up, and because the ceiling was 3.6 meters high or whatever, you couldn't get the full height out of the veneer sheet because they're in 2700 lengths maximum. The veneer press literally doesn't go longer than that. So you need to join the sheet somewhere. So the chair rail is a convenient place to put a joint in the sheet and not notice it. So you've got the sheet, goes up to like, I don't know, 900, and then you've got a chair rail, then you've got your full sheet above that. And the timber we used was IPE. I still don't know how to pronounce it. IPE. I believe it's a African timber. IPE. Timber hazards. So IPE, MSDS, acute and chronic effects. Brazilian walnut or ironwood, exceptionally dense and durable hardwood. Oh, hang on, screen just went away. Desk share. AI overview. Fuck you, AI. It doesn't release poisonous substances. It's got lots of silica in it. It's rot resistant. Oh, let's just go after. Oh, hang on. What's this? Skin, eye, respiratory irritation, as well as other effects. I ended up getting like a really sore throat from it, and every time I touched it, I broke out in a rash, which is look at it. Look, Temu. Fuck off, Temu. Which is not ideal as a timber machinist. Jenka hardness, basically 3.5 pounds. Oh, excuse me. But essentially it's got the same fire rating as concrete. Fucking Google in their ads makes the website useless. Toxic dust. So when you cut this stuff, it leaves like a fluorescent green dust on all the saw blades, and that's like the resin that comes out of it. And it's so hard. Tool damage, high silica content quickly ruins even carbide tip tools. Yeah, you got to pre-drill everything, and even then I put a little bit of axle grease on the tip of the or wax, paste wax on the tip of your screw before you drive it in. It helps it drive. Yeah, incredibly hard and difficult to work, that stuff. Very irritating to the skin and lungs. I can't get near it without getting a rash. Yeah. Ipe. Is that how you pronounce it? Okay. Ipe. It does have a little thing above the P, I think. It's got a little house above the E or the P. Health and safety probably can't have folk walking into a site and injuring themselves, can we? No, but I get that. But back in the day, they just used to have like a fence. And you still get that outdoor. But indoor, they bought everything up because the corporate overlords don't want anything to be messy. They want everything to look orderly. And I think that's sad because it inspires kids to get into the trades. Seeing other people do it as a kid, when you're a kid, you just see whatever other people are doing and you just want to do that. It's like if you see people building shit, I want to be a builder. If you see a fireman, you want to be a fireman. And if you hide away all these trades, kids won't want to do them, and then there'll be a skill shortage. There was a huge construction boom in Wellington in the 80s. I love seeing photos of then open pits right up to the footpath, unsecured facades, no hoardings. Yeah, good old days. Saw this really funny video of this dude that was making fun of Google AI. He personified the AI when he was searching something. He poured out 2 water bottles and said something incorrect. Yeah, I think I saw that. It was a short or something, wasn't it? Yeah. Find it hard to imagine the web without an ad blocker. Yeah, well, I use Firefox, which does ad block to a degree, but yeah. Too cold to smoke. Damn it, Mark. Well, you're just gonna have to smoke cold stuff, like salmon. Pig mesh keeps the people out. Yeah. We are pig-like creatures. Hoarding is just for appearances. Poison ivy doesn't faze me at all. No reaction to it, really? Poison ivy. Do you guys know that song? Poison ivy. Who wrote it? Poison ivy song. It was a US song, wasn't it? The Coasters. Alright, so it was by the Coasters. Rolling Stones. Rolling Stones did it. But over here, Billy Thorpe and the Aztecs did it. Okay, so it was an American song. It's one of those songs everyone covered it as soon as it came out. I lost track of who wrote it. The song discusses a girl known as... Oh, it's actually about a girl, is it? Known as Poison Ivy. She's compared to measles, mumps, and chicken pox. Because Poison Ivy, Lord, will make you itch. It's a metaphor for a STD? Maybe not a metaphor. Billy Thorpe and the Aztecs, #1 in Australia in 1964, famously kept the Beatles from #1 spot in the Sydney charts the very moment that the group was making the first and only tour of Australia, a feat which resulted in Thorpe being invited to meet the Fab Four at their hotel. Good old Billy Thorpe, what a legend. Miss him dearly. I'll have to check out that mycosis. I generally don't worry about it too much because most of the sites I go to, it's not an issue. Or if a site's covered in Google Ads, I just don't use it. Probably the most annoying is Rob Robinette's site because he's got Google Ads all over it, and they pop down and pop in your face, and they trick you into clicking them, and it's got a little arrow which looks like it's going to close it, and then you click it and it takes you to the link. It's really, really shitty. Poison Ivy, guitarist for the Cramps. Yes, what a legend. Love the Cramps. Anyway, I'm being too attached to the chat again. I've got to do some work. I used to do work on this channel, champions. So what I might do is clean this green shit off these sockets and throw them along with all the screws and bolts into the ultrasonic, and we'll see how they come out. Oh, I've got my little T-ball. Put them in. Yeah, Ivy, Poison Ivy was such a legend. You're gonna need an ocean. Yeah, get to work. Yeah, and the annoying thing about Rob's site is that it is extremely simple. Hosting that would be so cheap. Yeah, yeah, and he could do donations because people would donate to him because he's such a good help. He's a great site to refer people to when they're trying to figure out troubleshooting, because he's got a troubleshooting article that's really, really good and tailored to guitar amps in particular. Rod Elliott's got a really good troubleshooting site too. Elliott Sound Products Troubleshooting. Even if you're an experienced tech, this is still a really good refresher page to read. So check this one out, champions. Save it in your... Put it on your desktop. You probably refer to it that often. And if you can, donate a couple of bucks to Rod's page, because he keeps it ad-free. And I donate monthly to Rod. And he's Rob and Rod. I'm talking about Rod Elliott. I donate to his page once a month. I've got a recurring donation. I think you guys should too, because it's an absolute treasure trove. Treasure trove of valuable info. I didn't even know Rob's website had ads. I guess that means my ad blocker works. Yeah, I guess it does. Tell me which one that is, son. Sounds like a good one. I love his site. I still use it all the time. Bias calc is best on the web. Yeah, it's good. It's slower than just doing it. Once you figure out it's a very basic formula behind it, it's actually quicker to do it without it. But yeah, he's been doing it since I was in short pants. I still am in short pants. Look at my legs, champions. Look at that. Look how white they are. I got a pipe burn from the exhaust pipe. I'm very inexperienced at riding at the moment. I can still do burnouts. Super Bock. Yes, that is a fantastic beer. I like to not have to think. Well, once you become second nature. I mean, you've seen how quickly I punch the info into the calculator. It's second nature. And then you don't have to think. So I'm going to clean up all the schmoo on the workbench, because amps drop crap all over the bench when they're old and shitty. Old and shitty. Amp droppings. I really don't want to talk to anyone today, champions. I just want to do some work. Michelle, can you come down and run the shop and I'll hide out the back? I don't think she's still there. Trevor Trove. Trevor. Come on, boys. Smokes. Let's go. Oh, I love Trailer Park Boys. I never watched it. I only got into it during COVID. So now it reminds me of isolation in COVID. Drinking beer and watching Trailer Park Boys. Very, I hold that time very dear. Hey, Brad, what's the name of the little mini coax wire that goes to the output jack? Goes to the output jack? I don't use coax wire to an output jack. G'day, Brad. Left a message on Discord. Oh, I've got to catch up on Discord. I haven't paid it. There's too many platforms, man. I can't maintain them all. I've hit my bandwidth mentally. I don't know. Maybe I'll get rid of Facebook and Insta because they're a fucking waste of time. Maybe I'll just go to Discord. I don't know. But yeah, there's too many platforms to manage. And then I was on Blue Sky, and Blue Sky's a waste of time. G'day, Brad. I left a message on Discord Electronics relating to flyback diodes on a cathode biased amp. Is it best for them to go from plate to B+, clamping plate voltage relative to B+? You can run them from the cathode, or you can run them directly to ground, because they're essentially out of circuit until something goes wrong. I'd probably run them directly to ground. However, it is convenient to mount them on the valve socket directly to the cathode. In that case, you just got to realize that the spiking voltage will be going through that resistor, and you could, if it could damage your bypass cap, but for the fraction of a second that it happens, it's probably not going to, because electrolytic caps are usually pretty forgiving of small spikes, whereas like tantalums aren't. They just go short circuit. I'd probably run them to ground if it was convenient. Just you can run a flyback diode to the mounting hardware. Not the end of the world, because you're talking massive high voltage spikes being shunted to ground. It's going to punch through any slight resistance there anyway, and essentially it only kicks in when something goes wrong. It's not like a safety measure on the primary of the mains or anything like that. So you can mount them directly to a little eyelet that you just put on the valve socket. That's probably the easiest way and safest way. But in a pinch, you could attach them to the cathode too, and they still do their job fine. Getting rid of Facebook back in 2010 or whatever was one of the best decisions I ever made. Yeah, I'm still fucking locked to it. But I keep in touch with so many other techs and mates internationally on there. And everyone goes, yeah, we'll email and that, but you don't. You lose touch with everyone, and they've really got everyone by the balls as a result, and it sucks. I miss the old MSN Messenger. It's so good. There must be other apps that do that, but the problem is getting other people to install software is impossible. If you say it was hard enough during COVID to get everyone to use Zoom, right? But eventually everyone sort of conceded that they need it, probably because they were using it for work too. So many people I know really enjoyed lockdown. It became socially acceptable to just stay home and make art. Yeah, it was really good, wasn't it? I think we need to just unapologetically do that, you know? Like the comment you didn't read out loud. I never came here to talk about politics. I come here because the kind of stuff brings us together. I don't advertise my views here ever. You did that. Yeah, well, I can advertise my views here because it's my channel and I can say whatever the fuck I want. Never getting Facebook is one of the best choices, one of my better choices as well. Yeah. You should logically be a Richard Thompson fan. His early 70s record, Henry the Human Fly, is said to be the worst selling record in Warner Brothers history. Really? Oh, he's that a little bit like Tiptoe Through the Tulips, though, there, couldn't? Wonder where those nail polish covered sockets come from. Yeah, it comes from the Marshall amp video that just dropped. BOFA time. He's cranked right up. Actually, you know what? Let's not. let's just acetone it. Go get a glass. Very unsafe using a drinking glass with acetone in it. But it's already got paint all over it anyway. I don't think you're going to drink out of that one accidentally. Have a go at it. That was used for the Santa painting out the front. Bit of acetone. No smoking, please. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Coming off. That's all gone. Try that in the ultrasonic. Like I'm proposing a toast. Acetone would probably be good at getting that green goo out of the cable greening as well. Are they worried about oxidation? No, it's just a signature thing. It's like, look, I worked on this amp and all the solder connections are me. If anyone else works on it, I'll see that it wasn't the work that I did, so the amp's now inferior because it's not all the solder joints that I did. Very interesting video, isn't it? So you probably just acetone off all the other joints, save choking on the shit. Acetone's a bit aggressive towards plastic, some plastics though, so we'll be careful around the jackets, and then I'll probably use a cotton bud instead. Homemade absinthe, yeah. Smells about the same. You can't get real absinthe anymore, the real shit with the wormwood and whatever. I knew up the mountains it was what all the edgy goth kids would drink to show how, you know, they're drinking the same stuff as Edgar Allan Poe or whatever. It's all the edgy kids would drink absinthe and make a big deal out of it. Look at me. Look how historically aware I am. There's me sucking down VBs. And now all the hipsters are drinking VB, ironically. So, you know, I was ahead of my time, mate. Every time you fire out the amp, it smells like aniseed. Anise. I feel physically ill when I go on FB. Like my soul is doing something it's not supposed to be doing. I don't know. My feed I ignore mainly, but it mainly just gives me photos of motorcycles, and I'm part of a couple of photography groups, so I just get to look at other people's photos and hit the like button. So it's not that toxic for me, I guess, because I don't respond to a lot of the toxic shit on Facebook. It's starting to be very political, though, and, well, everything's being very, very political at the moment because you're forcing it down our fucking throats and then telling us not to talk about it, so you get what you get. If you guys see the recent Rift Amp videos where one of Chris's friends got a 65 JTM45 that was recovered from the dump, insane. Why can't I find those things? Yes, I was very jealous of that, and I did comment. Insane that someone threw that out. But, you know, if you don't know, you don't know. It could be a deceased estate and the family just wants all the shit gone because they've got 5 minutes to sell the house before, you know, someone else claims it, or there's family court cases or whatever. So, yeah, they probably could have been a deceased estate, and they're just, it's an old amp, and they're just like, oh, it's an old shitbox amp. It's not like one of these new, you know, Yamaha surround sound amps. It's an old amp. No one wants old amps. They're valve. Like, you can't buy valves anymore, can you? That's probably what they were thinking. I'm going to pour out the absinthe. I'm going to throw it onto the pavement. Now I'm going to clean the glass before it sets. Was thinking about doing a very political video or post, just so I can expose who's upset about it and then ban them. Because sometimes they hide, but then they can't hide their rage. So, I don't know, I might do that. Just clean house a bit. I don't know. I'm of two minds. I think maybe this should be a little sanctuary away from that shit, but it just kills me knowing that there's chuds in my audience. I fucking hate that. I hate that they're getting value out of the stuff that I'm making videos of when they don't deserve it. Pisses me off. I don't want them to fucking get anything out of my work. I want them to fuck off. I've kicked people out of my shop for being weird conspiracy theorist nut jobs and shit. One guy was telling me about the grid, and I thought he was talking about power. And he's saying, no, there's a grid literally of like wires that's above our head that we can't escape if we want to go to another planet. I'm like, what? I said, okay, you need to leave. He's like, no, I know it sounds crazy. I'm like, fucking oath it sounds crazy. Get out of my shop now. I haven't got time for this shit. Leave. It was weird, man. And the way he looked at me, he never blinked. It was like, yeah, it's really weird. He's like, sorry, yeah, I know. You're probably not ready for it yet. And I go, get out now, please. Before I drag you out. Look at all that. Look at all that solder. All that solder. Dave Weiss. Who's that? Flat. Yeah, it's like flat Earth shit. We've got. You need to start taking flat Earthers seriously. They've got members all around the globe. Yeah, I think that too. Letting lunatics get away with fucking lies and horse shit for too long in the name of civility is what's given them so much power. We need to call them out. We need to make them sad and miserable, and we need to fucking remove them from our lives and remove all their, you know, the advantages that they're getting from our work. They need to fuck off and be lonely and think about what they're doing and maybe reflect on their actions, but we know they won't. Don't we, champions? Where's your safety squints? That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm squinting. These are sockets from that Superload. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I probably should just put new ones in, but it's sort of like we're replacing everything else. I don't know that these are even original. A big fire took place in it. It looks like the heater wiring had a short. And I reckon it's probably burned up the sockets a bit too, so they've replaced them maybe. But having said that, in this era, they probably used whatever they could get their hands on. Yeah, they get away with it because no one stops them. Yeah, you got to punch them in the mouth, Wes. Like, if you let the bully get away with it, they're going to bully you tomorrow. If you punch them in the fucking mouth, they don't come back. I learned that one. Sounds, you know, cliche, but it's true. You need to ridicule them and show them for the fucking idiots that they are. Stand up for yourselves. They just want you to lean over and pop it every fucking day. Well, don't. Stand up for yourselves. And the first thing they do when you fight back is they cry and bitch about it. Oh, how dare you? How dare you? It's like, how dare you, motherfucker? You started it. Yep. All right. We'll throw them in the Ultra. Let's get rid of some of the wire. See how they come out. Oh, it's partially just for an exercise to see how good the little ultrasonic will go. And if it's going to rip when you're finished, I hope so. It's the plan. It's kind of a 2203. But yeah, amazing the previous tech gave it a clean bill of health when it had a shorted choke. Just goes to show the previous tech either doesn't know what ripple is or doesn't know how to measure it or couldn't be fucked measuring it and probably doesn't really play guitar. But surely you would have noticed 4 volts of ripple on the screen node. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe it's not something that techs check. But to me, how are you supposed to know if an amp's healthy if you don't measure shit? Like, do they turn it on and then just put signal through? Okay, signal came out of it. It's good. Cost of new socket versus your time. Yeah, but it's like I said, it's like an experiment for the ultrasonic. I've got real keen snippety doo-daring. Snippety doo-dah. Post just delivered a quad of 6v6s 3 days from Australia to New Zealand. So impressive that I wasn't expecting, and I had to answer the door and sign for it in my dressing gown. Where'd you get them from, Lucky Jim? Was that a Vatco? Oop, hiccups. And which brand did you go with? Mojo is in a vintage socket. Yeah, well, some people would have you believe that. Adjacent to Flat Earth talk, I've always been mystified by the Irish blessing that begins, "May the road rise up to meet you." I think that means you passed out while walking home from the pub. Yeah, maybe. Wouldn't be like the Irish to walk home drunk from the pub, would it? Who's that Irish author that they have a day dedicated to? Robert something? Get his name. Robert Burns. That's right. Robert? I think it was Robert. Get off, get off! Look at all that solder. Scottish. Oh, he's Scottish, was he? I thought he was Irish. Ugh. Awkward. We're supposed to have another heat wave tomorrow. It's only going to be 40 something though, not 46 or whatever it was the other day. Sorry, Scottish people. I messed up. I apologise. God, that'd be like calling Crowded House New Zealand. And a poet, yes. Yeah, okay, human flies. I got it. I was wrong. He's Scottish. Ugh, left a bit of that ink. God, that stuff stinks. Oh God, I hate it when stranded wire just deconstructs itself when you're trying to clean it off a joint. Leave the fins out of this. Yeah, I don't know if you guys have the are in on the joke, you Americans, but Australians pretend like New Zealanders that do great things are Australian, so we claim them, be it like sports people or musicians or artists or whatever. So yeah, we say like Crowded House are Australian, but they're actually New Zealanders. Man, stranded little wisps of wire. Oh, he mounted the main strip switch upside down. Did Dubliners in lit. I love the Dubliners. The Dubliners. Oh, Ronnie. Oh, blue-eyed Ronnie. There's a documentary on Dublin, hosted by Ron. It was really good to watch. I like watching it as comfort food every now and then. All right, I'll pop them in the ultrasonic along with all those screws, and we'll see how they turn out. Yeah, lovely, doesn't it? Ugh, what a sound. Disgusting sound. I think Melbourne has Phar-Lap skin. Really? We got his bones though. Huge fucking horse. Wish I could claim Psychroptic. Amazing. Yeah, I know Psychroptic. I've met the guys. He did work experience with the guitarist when I was in year 10. He worked at Guitar Factory Parramatta, I believe. Andrew something. I've got photos of them that I took at a gig back when I was using film. I think they're back together, man. I saw somewhere that they're making new music, I think. Watching this screen upside down so it feels real. Alright, just clean up a bit. Clean up all the schmoo that I just created. I need to get back onto that refret after this. Guy's been waiting for ages. I was supposed to get it back to him last year. Haven't been in a fist fight in over 50 years. Although I picked up a crowbar off of his against the brick wall. After that, everyone walked around me as if on eggshells. That's the way, Gooden. Show him who's boss. Sometimes you got to. Some people don't understand words, so you got to punch them in the face. His heart's in Canberra, really, in a jar or something. It's a bit gross. Should keep the body together, I think. It's a bit weird splitting it up. It's a bit like, it's a bit emblematic of the whole trade, just carving everything up to pieces in the race industry to get maximum profit, blah, blah, blah. Still using film. I just bought another 100-year-old camera that takes 120 film. I used to have a camera that took 120. I haven't used film for years, decades even, but my cousin passed away in 2003 or 4, I think it was. Suicide. He had a Nikon FG3, and they went back to my aunt, who just had it in a box forever. And she recently moved from the middle of nowhere in the country to just around the corner from here, the shop. So we go around and help her out because she's got some mobility issues due to multiple brain hemorrhages over her life. And she's lost both her sons. Her other son just passed away. God, year before last now. Fuck. From cancer of the everything. He was a ex-army guy. He was served in East Timor. I don't think he was in Iraq, but he was in Afghanistan. Multiple tours. And over there they've got, you know, the depleted uranium rounds, and the burn pits probably contributed to his cancer that he ended up riddled with. And he spent like 10 years on a coal mine as well, so could have been all of that working together. But and their dad, my uncle, got killed in a car crash in, I think it was in 93. So it's just her now. And she's around here, so we go around and take care of her and catch up with her as often as we can. Being just around the corner is way better than being in the middle of Singleton, which is a like 3.5 hour drive or something from here, in the middle of nowhere. Anyway, point being, when we were clearing up her house and moving her out here, we found the camera, and I'm like, oh shit, it's still got still got half a roll in it. So it's been sitting there since 2003 or whenever he took the last shot with that half exposed roll in there. So I've been waiting to get the whole family together and do some portraits and some group photos with the rest of that roll. So the second half of it can be us. Don't mind me, champions, just cleaning up. I've got to get the shop open in, what, 45 minutes? I need to order more strings. Running out of flat wounds. And I'm thinking about stocking rotor sound too, because I don't want to buy US stuff where I can avoid it. Because they don't want to trade with me, so I don't want to trade with them. So I'm thinking about dropping Ernie Ball and going to rotor sound, which is made in the UK. How are we going to divvy up Russell Crowe? Well, yeah, discussing Russell Crowe, stay a couple of phones throws away. Here's a good song for you, champions. Official video, copy. Go and watch this one when you get a minute. It's The Boys. And that song is called Russell Crowe's Band's a Fucking Pile of Shit. That's what that song's called. Have to head upstairs for dinner with the family. Thank you, Brad. Have a great weekend. Thank you, Robbie. Thanks for joining us, champion. Alrighty. So back to the Marshall. Here's where we're at. I'm not gonna do any work today because I need to video it. You might want to develop the old roll of film as black and white. The color gelatins can go bad, but it should come out as black and white. Okay, it could even be black and white. I haven't looked closely at the type because he did a lot of black and white photography. It's a really nice camera and nice lens though. It's a entry level camera, but he's got like a 28. It might be like a 35 to 200mm lens on there, so long zoom. Yeah, I really hope it turns out. But I don't know, it could be like dick pics or something. I've got no idea what old Tony was into. Young Tony. Younger than I am. He's only about 2 or 3 years older than me. In between child. Between me and my brother, I mean, in age-wise. Yeah, I'll check that out, Buzzer. Thanks for the word. I might ask around who does old film rolls. I've also got some unused and used rolls that I don't know what's on it. I think one of them I didn't bother processing because it was lightning photography. So we were trying to take photos of storms. And I think a lot of them were dud shots because you've only got a certain amount of time you can keep the lens open before the ambient light blows out the film. But you also, if no lightning strikes, you need to release the shutter and do another shot. So you end up going through a lot of film trying to take a perfect lightning shot. You might use like 100 shots and get one good one. It's very expensive with film, but for digital, it's great. The only problem is the processing of the long exposure shots takes a second, even in the best cameras. And the lightning always seems to strike right after you've let go of the button and it's processing and you can't shoot. It's like life just teasing you. So we went out for, I remember this, I would have been probably 19 or 20. And me and he went out to Warramoo and went on top of the overpass bridge, taking photos from the tail end of a storm that just passed over. as it was approaching Sydney, and we were on top of the bridge with our tripods. I think one of those rolls might be that. That'd be great, because we did take some photos of each other as well. So I might have a photo of him there with lightning behind it, which would be fucking amazing. That'd be awesome. That's what I'm hoping. But you know what hope's like in this day and age, eh? All right, ultrasonic done. See how she went. Rinse it off. Oh, mate, like brand new bought ones. Like a brand new bought bastard, as we say in Australia. It's ultrasonic, man. I don't know why I put off getting one for so long. I didn't think they made them big enough. So, I couldn't fit my circuit boards. And then I'm like, well, I should just look. And yeah, sure enough, I got these big long ones. Just like me. So I can fit 2 of my Marshall boards in there at once and clean the flux off them. Flux on, flux off. It's cleaning the detergent out of it. So we've got a public holiday on Monday. It's not something I really observe, but I'm closed Mondays anyway, so it's no real difference. Oop. Need a bit of air. I don't risk taking pictures of lightning here. One struck just 10 meters away from my house, and my name is not Rod. Yeah, don't do lightning photography if your name's Rod. This is fine, yeah. I know the meme. What are we going to listen to today in the Shop Champions? I feel like, I don't know. We might play a bit of, was it, Crocus? I don't know. Do I want jazz or extreme metal? How about both? Tillinger Escape Plan. Sound of your blower. There we go. That's from when I was sitting down. Alright, so cleaned all the schmoo off them. Didn't really polish them, but they're less schmooey. There's no grease and oil and dirt all over them. So that's fine. Reinstall everything. Death Jazz, yeah, extreme metal. Okay, I'll do extreme metal then. What about Behemoth? I think it's a Behemoth kind of day. Swiss metal. Thank God for the US though. They might be speaking German. Moving on. Oh God, the days we live in. Let's put my little T-ball back in the ultrasonic. So where are we at with the Marshall? We are here at Brad's Guitar Garage. Everything's been pulled out. All the caps are gone. Output valve's gone. Heater wiring gone in this area. Next I've got to drill out. But I'll do that while I'm filming. I can't film because the camera's on my face. Drill out this. Get rid of the mains connector. And just see if I got one of those. I'll just see what IEC connector I could use there without modifying the chassis. Spotify. No, I don't use Spotify. I use Bandcamp. Spotify gives fuck all to the artist. Why would I want to do that? I want the artist to thrive. So use Bandcamp and give them money. Okay, so the hole centers are off, but I might be able to enlarge. See, these are just these aren't countersunk, so I might be able to elongate those holes inward a little. And there's plenty of room there on the body, so we're not modifying the chassis, but then I can still hit those two center holes. As for the width, I think it will, yeah, it will cover that cutout. So I think just a standard IEC connector is good. Yeah, if we wanted to get fancy, we could use a noise filter, but probably not necessary. I don't know why more of them don't use them, but they're a nice handy way to filter out a bit of schmoo. I'm German by extraction, had a tooth out in Berlin. Then we take Berlin. Bit of God, what's his name? Leonard Cohen. You can pick your service. What are we looking at? John Pawlak here now. Pawlak. I'll look at that later, Wes. Not looking at it now. Alright, switches are good. We need a new fuse holder. Or do we? No, we can reuse that one. I'll just clean it up. And obviously recap. We've dropped the cap out from under the board as well. I don't like the wiring and the input jacks and this schmoo that does fuck all. It hasn't fixed anything. It's just made it more annoying to clean up. You've heard this, Brad. Oh, is that the I can't remember, Wes. My memory's about 3 seconds long. We'll just leave that socket in place. It's not bothering anything. And what I'll do here is I've got some blanking plates that I made a while back. Where'd I put them? Right down the bottom of the pile. Of course I did. See, I just made these by hand. But I should get some laser cut ones and sell them on the website. Just blanking plates. Is that going to fit? Yep. Alright, I'll put one of them on. Just rivet it in place. A little bit of Sigaflex or silicone on the outside just so it doesn't rattle. But that'll fit. Alright, I'll put one of them in there. I played... Oh, okay, so yeah, that's that one, right. Green shit is gone. Nah, it's still there. It's just not on all the connections. For some reason. Now, for the smaller one, I'll see if I've got a blanking grommet that's big enough. They're just grommets. Ooh. Yep, that'll work. That'll work. Sweet as, bro. I'll deburr it first, because No previous tech seem to know anything about deburring tools, but these are good to have. Just a little rubber protective ring. What? Yeah, I just call them blanking grommets because they're a grommet without the hole. Blanking plate would be ideal for 3D printing. Oh, I don't think you'd really need to. 3D printing is very inefficient, and I want it made out of metal, not plastic. So laser cutting, still, what would you call it? Subtractive machining is still the efficient way of doing things, not additive. You want mollusk grommets. Been listening to Pelicans. Oh, they got a new album. Have they? Oh, maybe that's what I'll listen to today. I like Pelican. It's good for having on in the background. And thinking music. It's great. Pelican's awesome. Excuse me. I've got half an hour. So, you know where I'm at with this one. I'll put it aside and we'll do a quick check. Do a quick check of some other amps that have come in since. She's just so filthy, not in a good way. You can see the untouched chassis under the bracket tabs there. She's a dirty girl. Yeah, blanking plates would be press cut in bulk. Yeah, absolutely. That is the most efficient way of doing shit. Laser is good for small runs, less efficient, but also no machining time, no tooling setup time, because you don't have to make dies and stuff. But making the dies for a punch is worth the time if you're going to make hundreds of thousands of them. But using a laser is best because you don't have to make a tool to make them. The tool is just the laser and it's formless. Where am I going to put this amp? Let's put it in front of the JMP 2203, which is the next job in the queue after this one. I'll get that done after hours today. I'll do the guitar refret during open hours because I can actually talk to people while I'm doing that. It's not super thinky work. Fuck, I've run out of containers. Oh, you know what we should do? We should blow up some capacitors today. What do you reckon? Put 240 volts AC into them and see how big the bang is. What do you reckon, champions? I see often listings for these caps that someone's pulled out of an amp and they're selling them for like $800 on fucking eBay. I'm like, you scam fucks. Like someone wants a all original amp. Well, they were pulled out of an amp for a reason because they're a fucking million years old and some of them have probably failed. They do last a ridiculously long time, but not forever. Nothing lasts forever, man. Particularly not electrolytic caps. Now I've got Leonard Cohen in my head. It's not a bad problem to have. I think we can replace the output jacks because they're PCB pin, which is seriously weird. Throw the rubbish in this bag and then I'll reclaim this container. Not even a question. Get to popping those things. Yeah, I wanted to do a cap explosions video where we see what combination of voltage and capacitance gives the biggest bang. I think that'd be fun. A bit like like the Photonic Induction's old channel when he used to make videos. He hasn't done anything for years now. He's fine. He's just busy. I know. I think it's Big Clive's in touch with him. He's doing all right. He's just got his self-employed, so you know what it's like. In the used market, dies will cost more or as much as the machines that they go in. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, absolutely. some of my customers are old tool makers, so they used a lot of the time EDM, not electronic dance music. They used electro discharge machining, so they'd use a tight wire that goes through a diamond guide, and it's basically in a fluid bath, and it etches away at the metal slowly, and it moves this big wire around. It's held at the top and bottom really tightly. The wire cycles through as it gets eroded away, and it erodes away at the metal. And you can cut, like, that's how they make like engine blocks and shit. And they cut, you know, like a foot thick of aluminium or whatever with this wire, and its accuracy is ridiculous. It's like crazy accurate, but not like, you can't make like a cylinder head out of it. You've still got to machine it, but they make dies doing that. And they're very accurate. But yeah, tool makers made the tools that go in the presses to do things. EDM machinist here. Well, you could probably explain it much better than my shitty attempt just then. EDM machinist, nice. What machine are you running? Or multiple? There are like videos going around of how they've made like some super complex cutout, and then they've made the piece that goes in it, and they fit so tightly that when you, it'll have like a silhouette of like a horse or something, like a stallion, and when you put the male piece inside the female piece, it fits so tightly that it like drops down real slow because of the air pressure, because it's such a tight fit. He's got a AG350. All right, I'll take your word for it. All right, let's have a look at we're looking at a really good Marshall. Let's have a look at a really shit Marshall. Well, not really shit, but a modern Marshall. So the DSL series, we thought, I'm going to say we, me and my colleagues, Lyle, and my other colleagues in the States and the EU and UK, we thought that we were onto a bit of a winner in terms of, God damn it, he gave me the IAC lead. I hate it when they do that because I always lose it. We thought we were onto a pretty good one with these amps, and we thought maybe they've made an amp that maybe doesn't massively suck. And I think we were right there for a while, but now they're starting to have issues. And most of them are down to corner cutting and design fuck-ups, essentially. That's on the DSL 40, see? I can't remember if DSL 100 has those issues, but I dare say being the same generation that they probably do. So this one, he had it switched on. He put it into standby mode. And when he came back and switched it on, just no signal. So I reckon we've probably got a blown HT fuse. We'll confirm that just quickly. Make sure it's not user error. So when we turn it into, or we turn it on, we're getting inrush. Went up to 190 watts there. It's settling down to 670, 74 watts, 73 watts and falling. And when we take it out of standby, we should see a jump in the current or in the power consumption from the wall. I really don't like the Tolex on these either. It's really, it's like cheap version of the elephant look. It's just shiny and it looks cheap. It smells like toilet cleaner or something. All right, it's sitting steady at 72 watts now from the wall. I'm going to take it, I'll put it in a low power mode. No, we're going up to 127 watts in low power mode. Is high and low power, I think, is 150 watts. That seems excessive. Okay. I think we've got signal though. I heard a bit of noise. But yeah, it's biased hot. It's probably at like 60 something, 70%. I like to bias them around 50. Particularly high gain amps. DSL reissue, I guess, since the originals are like 35 years old at this point. Yeah, they're not even really a reissue. They're nothing like the original. Well, construction-wise, from the front, I guess it's kind of similar. Still calls it Ultra Gain and Classic Gain. I wouldn't call them a reissue, though, because they don't... There's not enough similarities. But we've definitely got no blown HT fuse. Let's just give it a bit of signal. Couldn't be fucked booting up the signal generator, so I'll just plug in. Yep, definitely got no signal, but we are drawing. All right, so we might have a preamp problem because I am hearing the hiss increase with the master. But there's nothing's making it past the preamp. So we could have a preamp problem. Let me just plug in the effects loop return. And the master up. Nothing. Okay. Could be a phase. Oh. Ah, because I had the loop switched off. All right, so we've got a problem in the preamp before the effects loop. So it could be something as simple as a bad valve, but we'll adjust the bias while we're there. I didn't take a bench fee for this one. I think we got chatting and I forgot to, but we'll probably, if it's just a preamp valve, we'll call it an hour. Maybe an hour and a half. But I want to just check the few other systemic issues with these ones, which is the conductive glue and an area on the board which doesn't have an adequate enough margin. Yes, don't forget to smash that like button. Good point. G'day, Mark. How you going? You just get here? Oh, bash my head on the BOFA. Talking about drills the other day. I bought these, I think, would have been like 2009, maybe 2010. And there was like the 50th anniversary of edition or something. We've gone through the, I think I'm down to one original battery. It had 3. So I got replacement batteries. But these things are battled on like crazy. They're pre-brushless, so they're brushed. I haven't needed to change the brushes yet. I should probably have a look at that. It's just a matter of popping those 2 screws off and just see where they're at. Because if you leave your brushes for too long and then they wear through, you can have a short on the commutator and you can blow your motor up when you could have just replaced the brushes. Been here the whole time. Oh, g'day, Mark. Sorry, mate. I missed you. Missed your presence earlier. All right, so the valves look okay visually. The writing's still red. Look like the stock ones, Marshall branded. Got 15 minutes, champion, so we're going to have to make it quick. I tried smashing it once, the next day I put a new flat screen. Yep, you got to keep the capitalism train running somehow. Buying consumer goods. Here's the CLCR. This is a DSL100 HR being the head. The C stands for combo, I believe, and the R stands for reverb. I would replacing a master volume on a 2203 with Lamar be stupid or just silly. I don't like post-phase inverter master volumes on a 2203. I think they sound uncontrolled and a bit gritty and unpredictable, a bit uncontrolled. I already said that. I just like it how it is on the 2203. RJ, how you going, mate? We've got RJ here. He builds amps for Nickelback, don't you, RJ? For the Paddle Pop Lion. Oh, I'm running out of room in the workshop, champions. You don't need a signal generator when you are the signal generator. I see you've been doing a lot of gigs recently, RJ. Is that true, or are they old photos? If that's the case, good on you, champ. Getting out there amongst it. Thanks for the input. Redoing ground scheme and had a wild hair. A wild hair? Yeah, if you checking out the ground scheme from Lyle's video, because that's the way to do it. I've glossed over it as well, but Lyle goes into greater detail. Might do a video one day of just sort of like, okay, here's how to do it, just quick and to the point, without going into the tech stuff too much. The noise made by a brushed power tool is known as a fuller tone. Really? Alright, so the main problems in these are the conductive glue. They use this brown schmoo and it cooks itself. It looks okay when you first put it on, but if it gets exposed to heat, it starts to break down and starts to conduct. What is it with Marshall and accidental conduction? Fuck's sake. Down here you can see it's sort of a lighter color here, but it's gone a darker color around there, and this splotchiness, and anywhere it's touching metal, it started to corrode the metal. So that's to secure the caps, which it sort of does. But it starts being a problem in itself. Now, I don't think that's what's causing our failure here. I think we've probably got a different problem entirely, but that shit will keep getting worse. So we need to clean it off. And to clean it off, you need to remove the caps. And when you remove the caps, you may as well upgrade them. If the glue's all over the leads of the cap too, it's contaminated. But you see down here where there's a bit of heat. Bit hard to see with the light how it is, but let me get a torch 1 second. If I can find it. The fuck is my torch, man? How does it just walk away? Oh, there it is. Normally on this bench. So see down in there. Yeah, hang on, let me get a better angle. Angle of the dangle. It's like black. See, it's probably a bit hard to see, but actually I'll just up the ISO. The angle's wrong. See down there how black and gross it is? That's starting to corrode the leads. All that shit's got to come out. Because that's going to start leaking voltages. You get stray voltages everywhere. So that is, yeah, it's burning conductive. You know, it's an original. Yeah, it's almost the cynical side of me thinks it's built-in obsolescence. But I don't know. The board looks semi-competently laid out, but then there's some areas where there's high voltage and inadequate margins. From memory down here, this area is essentially a gyrator circuit, which forms like a resonance. It's like the resonance control. It's a really weird way of doing it. I just normally use the negative feedback. I don't know why they did that. It sort of creates a artificial negative feedback resonance control. So previously I've got shorts in this area because there's this high tension there between the ground plane and that, I think that pin, and you develop a short there because the margin's not big enough. And then you see elsewhere, they do know what the margins are and they do have their net classes set, but I think they missed a few of the nets. If you've done design, PCB design, you know what I'm talking about. So net class, this pin is part of a net. Everything that's directly connected to that pin is part of that same net. And you get a net list. So it's basically a list of every single connection in the amp, and you can assign properties to that net. If this net here, which is one of the plate pins, and that'd be the, is that the phase inverter? Can't tell. I think that's a phase inverter over there. But oh, maybe not. No, that comes up here. Oh no, that's the heater. Never mind. 1, 2, 3, 1, pin 1. I don't know. I can't trace the bottom. 6, 7, 8, 9. So that net there would be a high tension net. So they've assigned the net class property of the margin to that. So it looks like maybe 2.5 millimeters. So see how that ground plane stays far away from that pin, but not as far away from that pin, and not as far away from that pin. So this net class margin property would be like 1 millimeter or 0.75, and this would be like 2.5, 2 millimeter to 2.5. So when you fill in the ground plane, naturally it stays that far away because that's the rule that you've set for that net. If you forget to set that net and that ends up too close, you have the possibility of arcing over because you don't have proper margins set there. And you see here, this being a plate load, you've got a larger net on that side, a larger margin on that side, and a smaller margin on that side. So that, oh, phone's ringing. Why are they ringing me before hours? I'll call you back later. Hang I'll tell you what, champions. So that quote got approved, but he hit the approve button and then had revisions. So it actually wasn't approved in its approved form. So lucky he rang me because I was about to recover his fucking Marshall. Now he doesn't want to. All good. It just sucks when you're so busy that you lose track of some of the admin stuff and you miss things like that. Anyway, back onto this thing. Let's find out exactly what's going on. So first thing we'll do is check all our voltages, of course. That's the first thing you do in any case. Thanks for entertaining me at the end of the week. My wife returned home, so all the best. Until next time, everyone have a wonderful and safe weekend. No worries, Richard Nagamitsu. You didn't answer me as... Did you answer me as to where you're from? Are you from Japan? With a very Japanese-sounding name? It's probably already gone. Alright, we're plugged into the speaker. We've powered up. Let's see if I can get the Fluke on cam. Yes, I can. Oh, no. It's always hitting a reflection, isn't it? Every fucking time. Jam the probe in the chassis. Power it up. Let's tone back that bias a little. Where's the trim pot? Is it on the other side of the board? Forget. Oh no, there they are. It's got its own board. Let's see if there's an imbalance from side to side. Alright, that's our heater balance. That's our... Alright, I should be able to measure on the cathodes there how many millivolts we got. Just see, yeah, it's on the bottom of the chassis. Well, top, if you want to get technical. 82. 77. Let's just tone that back a little. We'll go to like 60 per side, 30 milliamps per valve, and we'll set it more accurately later. Go say 65 per side. Some crackling. Could be the pots. The bias pots maybe need a clean. Mounting the bias pots off board. Not a big fan of that. Just more things to possibly play up. Let's just check our plate loads. Is that a plate? 330. Oof. Always makes me jump. 330, 330. Seems high. What have we got on the cathode? 1, 2, 3. We've got fuck all on the cathode. Okay. And fuck all on that cathode. So, we've got 2.5 on that cathode and 1.9 on that. So, have we got both? Hang on. Do we have a failed heater supply, maybe? No, we've got 13.7 volts DC across the heaters. Should have half on each side. Minus 13. Hang on. Is my brain working today? Minus 13 and 0. So how come we've got 13 from 5 to 6, 4 to 5, but then we've got nothing from 9 to 5. I think we've got a fucked valve. Because yeah, we've got nothing on that cathode. We've got nothing on that cathode. So let's pop that valve out. It's cold as a crab. I think we've got an open heater on that. Just let that warm up. Eric, how you going? Thanks, mate. I thought for sure acetone was going to eat the plastic on those belt and sockets, so I learned something today. Acetone's not that aggressive, particularly to like resins. Acetone doesn't really hurt thermoset plastics. Hang on, which one is it? The one that's not molded with heat. The one that's chemically set, so like epoxies and stuff. Generally, acetone's a bit not as scary as you think it is. It just eats vinyls and stuff. But vinyl's like pussy shit. Like even paint thinners will fuck that up. So yeah, thanks for the $10, champion. I'll get a burger or something with that. Nope, I gotta go, champions. Come on, give us a win. Hey, we've got 1.1, 1.5. We've probably got signal now. Just about V1. We'll end the stream on a good old positive note. Okay. Oh, hang on. I thought I was looking at the master up here. That's the input. That's the channel. Because I flipped the chassis over. I still had in my head that the masters are up that end. We've got signal. Let's give you some sound samples. Hang on. There you go, legends. So, just a bit of random cock rocky riffs there. But yeah, finally got an easy one, eh? I'll let him know about the glue issue and just let him know if it does have a problem in the future, that's what we'll have to look at. But if he does want to put some time and money into it now, we can sort that out while it's on the bench. But otherwise, a new valve and a bench fee. So, take it easy, legends. I've got to open the shop. I'm already 5 minutes late, but, you know, that's me. Thank you for joining us. And keep your head down. Keep your ass up. Keep busy. Keep connected with your community. Keep connected to the arts and creators that are non-AI in your area. And keep warm if you're in the States. And you know what helps you warm up? A good old whiskey. So have one of them too, if you're that way inclined. Thank you. Take it easy.